Good morning. Thought I'd have do a little bit of video making today. I haven't done a video for a while. Busy plus COVID is really the answer to that. Just lots of stuff with working as a priest, obviously, quite busy with that. A couple of little trips and things like that. But yeah, so do the introductions there. So me again, Reverend Simon Archer, and just thought I'm at Arbory Church this morning, ready for the parish walk. May take some video of that as well, actually. Excuse the severe haircut. What with the TT being on and the COVID thing, my hair had become a mop, and I'm not particularly vain, so I just shaved it all off. So this is a few days' growth now, but it might look a bit different to some of my other videos I've made. Might be wondering who this is in front of you, this thug with the short hair. But yeah, so in Arbory Church, and I'm going to give you a little walk around, perhaps have a little chat, tell you how things are going here. I'll give you a little update, maybe think about some more questions about the Isle of Man and about this area and this church and things that are interesting, I guess, to me at least. So we'll have a little walk around, but it's just such a beautiful day. I thought, I've got a bit of time, no one's here yet, so I thought I'd have a little walk. So yeah, I'm going to turn it off me, turn it back to more interesting stuff around me. So Arbory Church, beautiful place, really is. I'm very fortunate to have two very beautiful churches. But let's pop outside and enjoy this wonderful day. It's absolutely glorious. I wonder if the sheep will say hello if they're going to run off again. So we have this old part of the churchyard, which is surrounded by fencing, which kind of protects it a little bit, but also means that we can have sheep in here. I was greeted this morning by some curious lambs. They're a little bit nervous, but maybe we'll spot them. Maybe they've moved somewhere else. They were quite vocal this morning, that's for sure. There we go. Be very quiet now, see what happens. If you get a bit of noise, I'm just going to move my mic because my jacket's undone, so if my mic moving about, that's a bit better. There we go. I just spotted one there, actually. You might be able to see it through those bushes, just laying down. Here they are. I'll stop talking for a moment so you can see them before they run off. Great, isn't it? Best lawnmowers. Noisy crows. Always up here is the sound of crows. So we'll walk out to the front. Yeah, I was told they needed to be here from 8 o'clock, so I've been here from 8. What time is it now? 9 o'clock. No one's here. Oh well. I love like all the stone walls around on the island. Just probably stood for many, many years. It's quite busy this morning. noisy so-and-sos. No, so they just do a really good job without causing damage. They keep the weeds down and the grass down. So they have them in there for a bit and then they move them on back to their normal pastures. But they do a great job. Just recently had the TT, my first experience. Didn't get to see much racing. There was a lot of cancellations and stuff. The day that we went to the grandstand, the racing was cancelled because of the weather. Just a shame, but there you go. It's probably going to be a fairly short video actually, because people, I assume, will be arriving at some point. Such a beautiful churchyard, really well kept. We've got these guys, we've got Robbie, Angus, I can't remember the other guy's name, but churchyard services, and they look after, they dig the graves and they look after the graves and cut the grass. They do such an amazing job. It's so like pristine. Which I think, I know people do a lot of wilding of churchyards now, which I'm sure is really good for the environment and encouraging wildlife and things like that. But we are in the countryside here, and I think there's plenty of space for wildlife, and it doesn't hurt to have a space so beautifully kept as well, because it does add to kind of the serenity of the place. See, I love the stone walls. I just think they're so little bluish flowers. You know that you just can't reproduce this. You can't just make this. This has to happen over time and naturally. Weird, I know. I can't help it. You're seeing, if you watch videos before, that I tend to gravitate to big blocks of stone, stony outcrops and lichen and moss and things like that, which I think are like little worlds of their own. I think it's because you have to get close to it to appreciate it and see like the kind of tiny beauty, the wonders of the tiny bits of creation which we kind of scoot by and rush by quite a lot. Look at this. You might see the sea in the distance over that way. Not that far away. A couple of miles. As the crow flies, and plenty of those around this morning. It's just a big field. Now this field does get filled with wildflowers and generally becomes quite beautiful in itself at some points in the year. Just a bit grassy at the moment. I mean, check out that sky. Beautiful blue skies. Sun is shining. Still fairly cool. This is the great thing I noticed that, shall we have a chat? Oh, so let's find a little pew, shall we? Little spot to keep back. Oh, I must show you. So, genius idea. It's kind of my idea, but my church warden's got the credit for it. I have no problem with that at all, because he's one of the hardest working people you'll know and gets it all done. But this was a big pile of mud over here, basically next to these railings, and wasn't very pleasant. And we had an old notice board that we took down, this one, and rather than throw it away, it's been repurposed and put up here, because we realised that people who turn up in the car park don't get to see any signage, so they don't know what's going on. Whereas this is absolutely given us, there's a few cones and stuff at the moment, but all that earth there is what's been moved from there, which was all piled up, and now it looks so much nicer. Little touches like that just make a difference. You kind of don't notice them if you've been there for a while, been in the place for a while. You probably wouldn't even worry about it. No, absolutely lovely. yeah, I don't mind a little 10-minute video thing. People can actually get through. A lot of my stuff is when I'm walking, so it could be an hour and a half of content, 2 hours that I record. So I generally do very little in the way of editing. There you go, active tracking on. It's quite stable, that's good. Oh, let's go sit on the wall. Yeah, so we did TT, which was it was exciting. The island was absolutely buzzing, lots of stuff going on. It's shame the weather wasn't better, but it's not always that great for TT. It's just the time of year. I had a really good year last year, but that was probably the unusual year, really. I don't think it's often as good weather as it was last year. A few days of racing and things, very exciting. Lots of bikes about, but like I say, where I was working and busy and things like that, it was hard to get to much. And when we did have a day to get to the grandstand, the weather turned and there wasn't any racing on, so we didn't get to see any of the actual racing apart from on other people's YouTubes and clips and things. But that's fine. We're here for the long term, so I'll probably got another. Well, how old am I now? Just about to turn 50 in January, so a good 20-30 years of TT left to enjoy, hopefully. So that's really not a problem. But yeah, I thought it was good. The buzz was good. It was an interesting time on the island. We had the pre-TT Classic as well, which was more local. That's actually in Castletown. And we've got the Southern 100 coming soon. So we'll have another. So there's quite a lot of racing on the island. We had the Manx Grand Prix before that, but parts of that got cancelled as well. But the Manx Grand Prix, absolutely amazing to see. That's probably, to be honest, I prefer the Manx Grand Prix, seeing the rally cars and that have been converted from like old Escorts and things like that. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Loved that. A few Fords were in that, more modern ones as well. Yeah, there's lots of classics, and there's a Porsche Owners Club type one, and I think there's an MX-5 one as well. I've always wanted an MX-5. Don't tell me it's a hairdresser's car, it's a driver's car. I've always wanted an old MX-5 for many, many years, so maybe one day. I wouldn't have thought it'd be a good idea for a priest to drive around in a sports car, but an old classic, maybe that's a thing that I could stretch to at some point. And needing limited mileage on the island, it's probably not a bad place to do it, and it is a petrol heads island, it really is. So we're about 10 months into our moving to the Isle of Man, and love it, absolutely love it. I mean, I can't tell you how different our lives have become since we moved here. My wife's working, got a job. She's working at Clear Pharmacy. Jobs wise over here, honestly, if you want to work, there are jobs. Just the lowest of low unemployment rates, with some long-term unemployed, which is about health and things like that, mental health, physical health, that sort of thing. But apart from that, honestly, my daughter's got a job in B&Q's, and she's, I think, being paid a better hourly rate than I get, although I don't get an hourly rate, I get a stipend. But if you worked it out, I imagine I earn probably less than living wage, but that's another story. But yeah, she's working there. I mean, £14 an hour. That's well over living wage. She's doing 20 hours a week, doing Saturdays and Sundays and one afternoon, and she's absolutely loving working there. The people are wonderful, and she enjoys it, and that's made her very happy. It's another daughter's working at Cregnish, at the cafe at Cregnish, which is an old sort of village, and she's really enjoying working there. She's only 14, but you can work from 14 here. In fact, she's not only 14. Today is her birthday. She's 15. I've already seen her this morning. She's out today, going out. We're paying for her to go out for lunch with her friends, and she's got a load of spending money to go spend in Douglas. So that's great. My youngest isn't working yet. I mean, he's only 13, so I guess we'll let him off not having a job yet. But he's out today with friends in Port Erin, where the beach is. Well, one of the many beaches, but where there's a beautiful beach there. And he's going to meet up with some friends. I never did this before when we were in the UK. I just don't think, just didn't really, I mean, I guess people do hang out together and do plenty of things. Like, it's nothing to stop you, but just the whole feeling of safety over here means, you know, you're 13, you're 14, stroke now 15-year-old, can just go out with friends and you don't even think about it or worry about it. You know, as usual, you know, you're not naive and they have to know about safety, but it's just not the same. It's not the same as living in London. Don't worry about them while they're out. Don't wait for a phone call. Don't get concerned really. They just go off and enjoy themselves. And I've got really good friend groups, which they had some friends before, but it was mainly playing around each other's houses. There wasn't so much of this going out to do stuff. I mean, my son was out the other day and walked to like, I think we walked to Bradderhead. Not Bradderhead. Is it Bradderhead? Went up to Milner's Tower near Port Erin, where a couple of his friends live, and absolutely loved it. And I went out walking with his friends. 13, because most kids are sat in front of computers and TVs and phones and devices. And he likes his games and his computers, and he keeps in touch with friends from the UK on there. But there's another side to things now, and they like to go out and do stuff, and they're looking forward to it warming up a bit. Oh, that's nice, and it's quite warm now. When you get a bit of a breeze, you realise it's not as warm as you think it is. Yeah, nice to see them getting out. And I say, Tasha's working. I'm busy as ever after feeling pretty rough for a week with COVID. Just kind of today's been my best day by far. Realised how tired I was only when I'm feeling better now, which is good because at least I'm over it. Yeah, it's been great. We've got some people visiting, got some friends from previous churches. One coming next week, one coming I think the week after. Is it the week after? Or not long, maybe, yeah, something like that. They arrive, I think, just as a bit of a crossover between the different friends. They're not staying with us, they're staying in their own places. But it'd be nice to show them around and give them the tour of the island. And it is just, I mean, not staying up, but I mean, look, what a beautiful day. Think about doing some time-lapse stuff, see if we can catch the clouds coming over or something. It's just amazing. But yeah, for me, still got some work to do on sort of creating a bit of a social life away from Tasha, my wife. And that's not a bad thing. We do lots together all the time, but I probably need to find some friendship groups or clubs or something to get involved with. So I've got my own thing, so she can do her own thing and I can do my own thing, healthy thing to do. But I've never been one. I've got friends, but not close or anyone that I see regularly or anything like that. So it'd be nice to have some good friends that I can go out with. So that's something when you move. I've never really been good with that anyway, but very too content, if you like, with my wife. And happy to hang. We hang out together and we spend hours out together and can spend whole days and still whole holidays, weeks with each other and can talk the whole time. So after 20 plus years, so yeah, it's nice to kind of think about that. And there's probably a couple of sporting clubs that I probably need to get involved with just for my own health, because work on that. Maybe some kayaking or something like that I've been interested in. There's a bit of sailing and stuff that goes on that I might try and get involved in, but it's hard when you're a priest. It's tricky sometimes to make those relationships, because you have to see which relationship is what is that relationship? Is it are you priest to them or are you Simon to them? You know, because it makes a difference if you're a friend or if you're their priest. It really does. So. But yeah, I mean, 10 months and it's flown by. There's been challenges along the way. It's been difficult financially at first, but we're in a much better place now. It's definitely we lost all our benefits pretty much by moving, and we had to balance up whether or not tax credits or what would be universal credit now, I guess, by now. But we kind of signed off on tax credits and tightened our belts, and So Tasha's gone out to work, but we're better for it, I think. Everyone's a bit healthier, a bit happier. And you get days like this where you can, like here, I'm waiting for this parish walk that's taking place today. 85 miles around the island. It's kind of meant to be like touching the gate of every church as they go. It doesn't particularly happen quite like that. I don't think they'll touch the gate. It's more like an ultra marathon. 85 miles, and literally it goes on until tomorrow. It takes so long for a lot of people. It goes past. This is one of the churches. It kind of touches on Arbory Church in Ballabeg, and so I got an email to say we'd be willing to have a station here from 8 o'clock. So I got here at 8 to make sure the church was open. They could have access to power because they said they might need power for it. And it's now 20 past 9. You get this a lot as a priest. Could you just do this? Could you open up for that? And then nobody turns up. Oh, did we not tell you we've cancelled? Or did we not tell you that we weren't going to come? It's like, okay. That's fine. You smile sweetly, not wanting to hurt any relationships or burn any bridges. But here we are. And I'm so far an hour and 20 minutes earlier than anybody else that's supposed to be coming in. But it's not the worst place to be on a sunny day like this. Next, I must get up to go to, where do I want to go? To South Barrule Plantation. I've been up South Barrule, but the plantation is probably about this time of year, is probably looking at its best, I imagine. Just because the greenery of the trees by now, and it's been a bit drier. It's been a bit of rain, but it's been a lot drier than it has been, so it's probably the paths are probably more passable. Perhaps go for a nice coffee in the coffee cottage, which is great coffee, really good coffee, really nice pastries. They do a nice breakfast bagel as well, bacon, egg, sausage, I don't know. They just chuck loads of stuff in a bagel, it never stays inside it. It's just the most amazing thing ever with fresh coffee. And then you go and walk it off around the plantation, so maybe I'll do that. Still plenty of other churches to see. Got some more work to do actually. We're going to go visit some churches and take some more footage and kind of show that off and show off some of the amazing churches over here, because there'll be a couple of posts, as in vicar jobs coming up in the not too distant, I believe, and that will be amazing to welcome new people to the island. So maybe there's people watching this, maybe there's a priest who watches this who'll be going, well, actually, do you know, that doesn't sound so bad. Believe me, it's one of the best places, I think, especially with our new bishop, Bishop Trisha Hillis, who seems amazing to me. I think we've been ridiculously blessed to have her as our new bishop. She's going to be an absolute revelation, I believe. Just so experienced, and I think really, really good appointment. So we're very, very happy with that. So that's going to be good. Although I don't think we'll see much of her until probably Christmas, because she doesn't get installed until October, or doesn't get made bishop until October, consecration. And then there's some kind of installation here that needs to happen after paying homage to the king, and that's all stuff that happens later in the year, probably November time. So we might not be looking until November, December. And to settle in and go straight into Christmas is probably a bit tricky. So I hope she takes a bit of time to perhaps let others lead and maybe preach a bit and visit the parishes and do that sort of thing to start off with, and then that will be kind of going into a new year. It's a fresh start, fantastic. I'm going to do some more stuff later on about living on the island. I've got some questions from some colleagues from other places who would the questions they would ask if they were to move here from the UK. That's going to be a bit of a bit of a job for the diocese. So I may well put it on the YouTube page, my YouTube page as well, but that's going to be a bit more edited. We're going to do some visits to a couple of the churches that might be coming up as potential posts, and then maybe a little bit of a separate thing about moving to the island, as especially as probably mine was one of the more complicated moves they've had for a while, seeing as I moved with 4 children one who's still at university in Aberystwyth, and one going to college and two going to secondary school, and I think I'm the second youngest priest on the island. But I've got a big family, and it's probably perhaps a bigger move for me than it might have been for some. If you come in with a smaller family, we've got adult children who can also travel backwards and forwards and stay in their own places and homes and jobs. And here you're moving a whole family. It's a bit different. So I think it'll be good to go through probably the most difficult move. But actually, it's not been, I don't know, maybe it's our attitude towards this sort of stuff, but it's not been that difficult. Challenging, yes, but life can be challenging for lots of people for lots of reasons, so not too bad. Well, I always wonder whether I should do this as a separate thing, doing these little chats rather than attach it to that, but why not? So I've had a little walk round the churchyard, probably have a little walk round again. Maybe not, maybe just finish it here, but it's just lovely, lovely. Imagine living here and just having days like this where you're just sat on this old stone wall and just sitting in the sun in your face, fresh, proper fresh air, the sound of sheep there. The cows have been quite quiet, I can see them, but the cows have been quite quiet. And you're just like trees and birds and beautiful flowers, natural sort of carpets of flowers on the walls, and just the valerian around here at the moment is ridiculous along the verges. I know it's supposed to be a bit of an invasive weed, but when it's in flower, it is stunning. It's like like roads surrounded by flowers as you drive along. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm feeling better. I'm glad the weather's getting better, because we're going to have some pretty serious, I think, picnics and trips to the beach, and I'm gonna try swimming in the sea, however cold it is, because I need to get out there and experience that. I'll really be desperate to. I've been for paddles and that's about it. So go for an actual swim, probably from Port Erin Beach, which is lovely. Right, well. Guess I'll leave you with what is some amazing blue skies behind me in the beautiful Arbory Churchyard, Arbory Church churchyard on Saturday morning with the parish walk about to head through. I'm starting to get a bit nasally, haven't I? But it's stunning. No, not everyone's going to move here, but if you get a chance, you have to visit, honestly. If you can visit sometime like now, you'd be hard-pressed to find a more beautiful place to visit. I know it's expensive to get here. It's not that expensive by aircraft, actually, if you book far enough in advance. And there's plenty of great places to stay, and you can hire cars while you're here. But the bus, friends who are coming next week are just getting buses and using the buses, which is great. Easy to, we did when we first visited. Buses, we got the Go Explore card and just did buses and steam trains and electric railways and travel around the island like that. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with that because it's 30 minutes. I think that's about enough. You've seen this place before. I've waffled on about stuff that I love before. You hear it every time. Doesn't matter. And see you next time. Who knows where I'll be? We'll see. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.